Great quote number 5. Now, I have to mention to you one of my favorite new websites. Occasionally, I'll rock out one of my top 100 websites. This one, I'm going to say, falls in somewhere in the 60s. And it's quoteinvestigator.com. So if you're doing Great Quotations Volume 10 and you've done 9 previous volumes, you probably care about quotations. And if you do care about quotations, you should care to know whether they were actually said by people. And quoteinvestigator.com is a wonderful site that I use to figure out, did this person actually say this? I've been asking that question at different points in this podcast over the last few years. Only recently did I discover that there's an entire website dedicated to getting to the source, the actual, real, non-fake news source for every one of these great quotes. And sometimes it turns out they said it, and sometimes they didn't. So, before referring to quoteinvestigator.com this week, I would have told you that Winston Churchill said great quote number 5. As it turns out, not only did he not say this, nor did Abraham Lincoln, to whom this is also attributed, nor anybody else. We really can't figure out who first said great quote number 5, one of my favorite quotes. So great quote number 5, not by Churchill, not by Lincoln. You know it, you love it. Here it goes. Quote, "Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." End quote. In fact, I use that quotation on a regular basis when welcoming new fools to our offices, new employees. When we have coffee together, I ask them, what's your superhero power? You obviously have at least one. You got hired by our company, so share with us. We go around the table what your superhero power is, and whenever it comes to me, I always share mine, and mine is the ability to lose, and lose constantly. I'm amazingly good at losing. Most of the board games that I play, even though I'm teaching people the rules, they then beat me at the game. People assume since I have hundreds of board games that I must be really great at them. That's why I have so many games. Not really. I'm actually not that good at games. I just love them. People would also assume, since I help run Motley Fool Stock Advisor and Motley Fool Rule Breakers, clearly I must be winning all the time out there on the stock market. You, dear listener, if you've been with me for any measurable amount of time, you already know that I lose constantly. In fact, I have more bad losers than any advisor or analyst in Motley Fool history. As I've often said, I have more bad losers, just flat out more losers than anybody else, and more bad losers, like stocks that drop 50% or more. And yet, that leads to a little conversation about losing to win. And I won't bore you with that now near the end of this podcast, but for me, the process of losing is necessary in order to win. When I pick stocks, I take risks on purpose. I've always said the greatest least mentioned risk of all in investing is not taking enough risk. I think most people don't take enough risk. Sometimes, arguably, I take too much risk and I lose more than anybody I know, which is why I've always loved what I thought was Churchill's line about stumbling from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. In fact, if you're going to be a superhero at losing, you darn well better count it up. So let's take a quick look live at the Motley Fool Rule Breakers scorecard as I tape here on Tuesday afternoon. And counting down, I have, and this is a shocking statistic. Before I give it to you, let me mention that I've picked 2 stocks on behalf of my team and myself, 2 stocks every single month since October of 2004. So that's 24 stocks a year times about 15 years. So we're talking about 350 or so stock picks in the history of Motley Fool Rule Breakers. Here's a shocking statistic. About 1/6 of those are down 50% or more each. Literally 58 of those stock picks have lost between 50 and 98%. We've never had one lose 100, but 58 times in the history of those monthly stock picks, we have literally lost 50% or more, which sounds horrible. And every single one of them, I believed in it at the time. And I thought, sure, I'm going to pick this, and I'm ready for new members to buy this, and old members, and anybody who wants this, because I believe in this company. We're going to take some risk. We're going to be willing to lose. We've always said that as rule breakers, and it's happened 58 times that we've lost 50% or more of our money. But even given that, not only has Rule Breakers whomped the market averages over its 15-year history, but I'm not sure there are any other services in the world that are even close, with the exception maybe of Motley Fool Stock Advisor. But here's the beautiful statistic. So 58 stocks losing 50% or more of their value, Winston Churchill. But the 58th best pick is up 294%. That's the 58th best pick. We've had 57 do better than that. And the very best pick so far for rule breakers has been Mercado Libre, which is up 4,263%. And that one stock, if you multiply all those 58 losers and their losses, get wiped out by that one stock. And we still have 57 below it that are all up multiple times in value, 17 10-baggers, etc. That's why I think that my superhero power is the ability to lose and look like a small f fool, look silly, airball from the free throw line when you thought I was a professional on a regular basis. Because the secret here as rule breakers is that we lose to win. So yes, even if Winston Churchill never said it and Abraham Lincoln never said it, you can look it up on quoteinvestigator.com. There is no evidence that either of these gentlemen ever said it. My secret to success is stumbling from failure to failure without losing my enthusiasm. There's something in there about resilience too, but I think you get that, fellow rule breaker.